Hi, just before I get started, I would like to make two disclaimers. Number one, I am making this video as part of an assignment for my Communications 235 class at college. And number two, I am also making this video in response to another video that one of my classmates made where he made a statement of abolishing capital punishment, and in this video I will be opposing the abolition of capital punishment. Now, in real life, I support the abolition of capital punishment, so in this video I have to be the devil's advocate. So now I got that out of the way. Let's get into this video. So, one argument that people make for opposing the abolition of capital punishment is the checks and balances system within the criminal legal system. So, this checks and balances system is made up of the jury selection, penalty phases, and the appeals process, which are designed to provide just processes for defendants. Now, this system is definitely not perfect and needs improvement, but I believe that people should and could and can work together to improve the system. And the second argument that people make for opposing the going away of capital punishment is the Fifth Amendment and the first section of the 14th Amendment, both of which state the approval for capital punishment. Both of these amendments state that no one should be, quote, deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of the law, end quote. This due process clause requires the government, whether it be local, federal, or state, it has to provide opportune notice and opportunities for hearing and substantive due processes which guarantee the protection of defendants' fundamental constitutional rights. The Fifth Amendment, on one hand, applies to the actions that the federal government makes. And on the other hand, the 14th Amendment binds the states to people's constitutional rights. The 14th Amendment also renders the Bill of Rights applicable to the states and protects the liberty of individual citizens. The term individual citizens apply to the day-to-day people of America, like the people on the ground. And it does not apply to citizens that apply to CEOs, big corporations, big companies, because they are labeled as something else. Now that I talked about several arguments that people make in opposition to the abolition of capital punishment, I want to talk a little bit about some alternatives. So there are several alternatives to the death penalty / capital punishment, which can be cheaper and more cost efficient for the government to implement. The first one of these alternatives is life imprisonment without parole. And in this alternative, the convict is still alive, and they would have to live with the consequences of their actions, and they don't leave the prison or house arrest alive. This way, the state does not have to carry the burden of carrying out a defendant's execution. And this in turn gives prisoners the chance to rehabilitate from their crimes, while also paying their life expenses and getting education and job opportunities, which would perhaps make a more cohesive society. Don't quote me on that because I did not do a whole lot of research into that. And the second alternative to the death penalty is restorative justice approaches, which include family conferencing and victim offender mediation. So this alternative prioritizes the victim's needs, family and community support, which can foster healing and aid for all parties involved in a crime and after effects of those crimes. And this in turn would be a better consolation and better outcome than the death penalty, because the death penalty causes like a lot of harm and like a domino effect of harms after it's completed. So now that I have discussed these arguments and alternatives of capital punishment, that is the end of my video. I don't have much else to say about it, so yeah, thank you for listening to my video.